Well, hello again. Welcome to our very first video driving tour for the TV show City Confidential. We are in Chakawitney, North Carolina, just outside of Washington, North Carolina, and we are going to look at some film locations that they used in the episode of City Confidential called Deadly Games in Little Washington. Mom, I'm playing Deadly Games in Little Washington. You better come out and stop me. Right? What 90s reference was that from? So here we are. This is Business 17. This used to be the major thoroughfare through Washington. About 10 years ago, though, a new bypass was completed. So we have that. We're south of Washington, and we're getting ready to cross the Tar River. Getting ready. Of course, historic downtown Washington, 2 miles away. Of course, I'll talk a lot about the case as we get a little bit closer. A little bit about, since it's my first time looking at the TV show City Confidential for this YouTube channel, I'll talk a little about the history of the show and that sort of thing. I didn't know it would take this long to get to Washington. It's like on the map, it's like Chakawitney, and then boom, a couple centimeters is like right Washington. But I guess mileage wise, a couple centimeters, like 5 miles or something. But so there we go. Chicken sandwich wars, McDonald's. Now we're gonna slow it down. 55 zone to 35 zone. Now here we get ready to cross over the very first film location of our tour, and that's the Drawbridge. The Pamlico River, Pamlico River is on the right. Tar River is to our left. Okay. Got that? Okay, so, and then this first right after the bridge, we're going to turn in here to the historic district. And so, yeah, we'll, let's have a gander, shall we? Okay, sure. Havens Wharf to our right, that was seen on the show. Stewart Parkway. I'm gonna take this around here. The marina, seen a little bit on the show, not as much as maybe some of the locals would have liked. Let's see. So we got the visitor center coming up. Visitor Center coming up. This is we're about 9:20 on Sunday morning, by the way, March 21st, 2021. Okay. So this right here is the visitor center. I believe this is the original building. However, I think on the show they kind of redid the parking lot a little bit. because it looks like where the guy was sitting, I believe Bo Tanner was his name. But there's the Washington Beaufort County Chamber of Commerce. But where he was sitting, it looks like he was right on the side of the road there. And I don't know, maybe different camera angle, but doesn't look exactly the same. Well, I mean, this documentary is filmed about 20 years ago, so probably not going to look exactly the same. But okay. Again. Now our next left is on Market Street, so we're going to go ahead and turn around here. Let's see. Now we're gonna cross Main Street, 4-way stop. And then we got our Stewart's Jewelry Store, Washington Jewelers there. And we have our Rachel K. Bakery, Downtown Historic Marker, which the DeMille family, right? Home of motion picture producer Cecil DeMille. His father, playwright Henry DeMille, stood 5 blocks west of here. Okay. Sorry if I'm making y'all dizzy. It's just I have a certain tour route I'm trying to follow, and sometimes when I see a spot that I want to kind of, you know, see a little bit more, then yeah, I need to stop. Okay, folks, there we go. All right, so back on Market Street here. So we're gonna go 2nd Street here, and let's see. Alright, so we're going to take a left here, and let's see, take a left, and then our 4th left on Van Nordine Street. So there you go. Beaufort County Financial Services. That's not in the City Confidential documentary. Just thought it'd be a nice little. Sometimes I just call out things that I see them. 15 miles an hour. Wow. Okay, this is the. Gosh darn it. Washington, your street signs, honey. You need to, like, kind of weird they don't have them on the, both sides. Okay. Back on, where we were earlier. I wanted to get another perspective of Havens Wharf here. Boy, that fence is really in a blind spot, isn't it? Anyway, so, okay. Okay, now up here, Edward Jones Investments. That was in the City Confidential as a film location, I should say. And we're coming up on Bill's Hot Dogs. There was a couple other Coca-Cola signs that were taken down. And Gerard and Son doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Oh shit! Come on, light. Excuse my language. All right. Wow, we're almost through the first page already. Go ahead. Let's see. Hopefully, I get some air in here, maybe. Alright, light. Alright, so our third is going to be West 3rd Street. Here's some palmetto trees. Aha! We have police station. There y'all go. And then we have the tire shop. Let's see, do I have to... Alright, let's see. Union Drive, I think this is the right one, I think. Man, them boys doing work on a Sunday. Wow. And we're in the South. Right? I think people work. Anyway. Let's see. Second right, Main Street. So. Okay. Looks like I need to get back over to Main Street now. Thing about was that Main Street there? Doggone it sure was, wasn't it? Oh my word, it sure was. Okay. Now our next stop is the Turnage Theaters. Right? And there you go. There we go. To Turnage Theaters. Okay. Now then. Market Street. Back on Market Street. That's where all the fun is, right? Second Street. The newspaper, Washington Daily News, the voice of the Pamlico. They had a reporter on the City Confidential documentary in that, of course, because it's a huge story in this area, the von Stein murders. Yeah, that was the purpose of the documentary, was 1988 murder of, whose name is Keith von Stein. Let's see here, so... Oh shit. Excuse my language again. Why are they working on Sunday? Oh. Alright, so. But we are going to get another good look at the tire shop and the police station. Mitchell Tractor Equipment, that was also seen in the documentary. It's a different sign, newer sign that was in the 2001 episode of that documentary. There's Peaches, Peachless. Pretty cool name for a car dealership. Let's see here. Okay, so we gotta go. Next thing's an historical marker again. Over at the Turner Pest Control. No, the pest control is just the business that the markers buy. Pest control does not have anything to do with the historic marker, as you can see. So, anyway, this is one of those we have to yield on green. So. Oh, Lord. Man. Might want to put a turn error there in CDOT. Okay, so this pest control marker, the burn-in of Washington, I should say. We'll go around here. And, yeah, the town was burned and shelled by evacuating United States troops in April of 1864. That's what the marker says there. Alright, so... And now guess where we're going, boys and girls? National Spinning Company. Which is where Mr. Von Stein worked. He moved down. He's originally from Indiana. Moved down to here to Washington, North Carolina. I believe about 1980 or something. And got a job as an auditor at National Spinning Company. National Spinning Company, it's a textile mill. And, of course, the spinning is from all the spinning of the yarn, the textiles, and the factory. That's what that is for. This is a little trick that a lot of towns use to help control speed. They'll put a stop sign every single block so people don't speed through. Let's see, right on Hackney Avenue. Oh, look, it's the historic walking tour, boys and girls. Let's see. It's weird, I've seen more tire and auto parts stores on this tour than I have like fast food restaurants. It's kind of weird, but true. But a lot of the fast food restaurants are in the northern end of town, and we're kind of in the central part. Central, now western part. Off to the National Spin Company. Okay, the thing about this is that when von Stein was killed in the late 80s, National Spinning Company had about 2,000 employees, and now through the 90s it lost almost half its employees. Now it's down to like 1,100, I believe, and probably even less today, because a lot of textile jobs since the 90s have been exported to Mexico and other foreign countries where the labor is cheaper. But here we go. National Spinning Company. As you can see, the sign looks exactly the same as it did from the broadcast of City Confidential 20 years ago. And the neat thing is if you look up the location of this on Google Maps, they actually have had people write a review and says, I came here just because of the City Confidential documentary. Okay, so no trespassing, and we need to turn around. Okay. Okay. Another thing from the film, let's see, where am I going now? Washington Square Mall. There were 2 nightclubs mentioned in the documentary. No nightclubs exist today. The closest one's about 10 miles west on Route 264. We're actually getting on now, and we're actually going to get on a portion of the new US 17. Well, it's 10 years old now, but the new US 17 bypass. It did not exist during the City Confidential documentary, and certainly probably wasn't even on the drawing board when the von Stein murder happened. So, basically, the von Stein murder, we'll have a few minutes to talk about it now. Worked National Spinning Company as an auditor. Moved down here, met, he was divorced before, met a woman, got remarried, and she had 2 kids from her previous marriage. And one of them, boy, people really driving slow. It must be, well, it's a Sunday thing, maybe, I don't know. But one of the teenagers turned out to be the troublemaker of the bunch. He had pretty poor grades in school. Let's see. Driving 20 under the limit. His grades were just good enough he could get into NC State University in Raleigh. So he went to NC State University in Raleigh. Of course, graduated from Washington High School, which will be on our tour a little later on. NC State University will be in another video I'll do probably a few weeks from now. But the teenager, instead of going to class, he was doing drugs and playing Dungeons and Dragons. And as the narrator of the show, Paul Winfield, would say, that is not a recipe for academic success. That's a very poor impression, by the way. That's not how he talks at all, does Mr. Winfield. So he was in danger of flunking out. And his father, Mr. von Stein, said, look, man, you flunk out of school, flunk out this semester, I'm not paying for your tuition anymore. Okay? So the stepson got mad, basically, and decided to kill his stepfather. Now, the way he did it was he had a couple other accomplices with him. James Moog Upchurch was from Caswell County, and there was Caswell County is even more rural than Washington County. There was a remark about that on the documentary. And they found a map in a tobacco field like 10 miles outside of Washington. Weird, right? Let's see. I think this is it right here. Yep, this is where I need to turn. And the map was, of course, written by the stepson. They mashed the stepson's handwriting sample out and convicted him. Now we're going to Washington Square Mall. Which basically, they just feature the exterior of the place and the sign for the documentary. Of course, you have Belks over here. You have your what else do you have? Oh, they took the sign down. It looks like okay. Oh, wait a minute. No, they didn't. It's right there. But it's a little different. It's still the same as it was, just a little different businesses there. Okay, so now where are we going? We're the hospital. But yeah, the funny thing is that everybody got the age of the people charged were like 18, 19 years old. So they all got they were given, I think, life in prison or something. Maybe not even that, maybe 20 years, but they all got paroled. They've all been out for like 10, 15 years now. It's crazy.